As India let its guard down after the first COVID-19 wave, thousands were reduced to mere statistics. In such times, several social, political, familial and financial issues shrouded the life as we knew. Unpaused Naya Safar is an anthology of 5 such stories of the second wave. Some sweet and relatable, and others harsh and unapologetically too real. Whether it's a story of a couple facing relationship issues while working from home, or the never-before-explored story of a pyre worker of a crematorium. Here's our ranking of the 5 stories. You could definitely have a different opinion and we would love to know your ranking. Do let us know in the comment section. Having said that, let's jump right into the review.
Shut up and sit down.
Starting from the one that we like the least, on number 5, we have Teen Tagada by Ruchir Arun of Little Things fame. This is a story of a trio of thieves who have just laid their hands on a consignment for their boss and are trying desperately to return home as a hard lockdown is put in place. The story becomes too slow and laborious at times, and despite it being the longest of the 5 films, has jumpy storytelling and lack of character development, and we just wanted to quickly get through it. Some dialogues remind us of Ruchi's ability to provide insight and depth to a story, but others just seem too plastic or preachy, and the decision to have the trial listen to English YouTube videos made no sense. End of the day, Ruchi tries too hard to make this into a quirky dark comedy at times and a montage of several negative emotions at others, which somewhat confuses the audience on the message that the creators are trying to send across. What saves this film by a thin margin and makes it watchable is the short reel time and performances by Ashish Verma, Saqib Saleem and Sam Mohan.
On number 4, we have Killadu by writer-director Shikha Makan, starring veteran actor Neena Kulkarni. This is a sweet story of a mother trying to send homemade sweets to her daughter, who's a new mother. The problem with this story is that unlike the others, it has very little to do with the pandemic. The actors don't even have a mask on, a difference from the others. And this creates a disconnect from reality for the viewer. Tashdar Junaid's background score is overused and is too loud at times to even hear a softly delivered dialogue correctly. And coupled with over-dramatization of an unfortunate situation, the story feels like a long TV commercial at times. Neena Kulkarni and Darshana Rajendran performed their roles convincingly, while Lakshvir's portrayal was a bit lackluster, and we'd have loved to see a more grounded performance from him. Although endearing and heartwarming, unimpactful dialogues, a scene before predictable story arc and the lack of meaty character personas rendered this a decent watch at most.
Moving to number 3, we have Nagraj Manjule directed Vaikunt. It does have a hangover of Fandry and Serat, but Nagraj's tale is by far the closest to reality and hard-hitting. In this story of a crematorium worker, Nagraj himself plays the lead, who is responsible for creating a pyre and cremating the disease coming from a COVID-19 hospital. The difficulties that he faces as he goes along is the premise of the story. While the creative symbolism, cinematography, a lack of excessive dialogues, and an attempt to mostly communicate visually work well for the film, it sometimes ends up taking too crude an approach and feels like a documentary rather than art. Some shots are too long and could have been wrapped up quicker while still having the same impact. And all actors except Nagraj himself fail to leave a mark with their acting. That said, some sunset visuals and the as-is presentation of the reality of COVID will send shivers down your spine. And Nagraj really did win our hearts for that fact alone.
On number 2, we have the Nupur Asthana written and directed film, The Couple. This is an extremely relatable story of the daily issues a couple faces while working from home during the lockdown. This take on pandemic fatigue, coupled with workplace inequality and lack of household skills in men, primarily works because Nupur brings in realism by making the couple fight over nothing, rather than dramatized versions we see in commercial Bollywood. What works for the film is a day-to-day kind of feel, use of Scrabble to indicate character emotions, and use of a house help for both comic relief and to indicate that no matter how large you deem your problems to be, someone else has even larger problems. This is a breezier of the stories with a feel-good emotion. While Shreya Dhanwanthary once again blows our minds with her ultra-real performance, Priyanshu Painyuli is a little sloppy in his delivery of the sarcastic scenes and does an average job otherwise.
And finally, number 1 for us has to be War Room. Who would have thought that Ayyappa KM, who is a famous TV commercial director, could roll out a gem like this? This is a story of a moral dilemma faced by Sangeeta, played by Geetanjali Kulkarni, who is a government school teacher forced to work in a COVID-19 war room. The ever-ringing phones, the reality of how masks are really worn in India, a satire on how the vaccinated view themselves, how chai is more important than anything else, how politicians and their Twitter accounts take precedence over everything else, and every other keen observation about how people acted during the second wave is probably why this story is the most relatable one. But the real quality comes from three aspects. First, Tasadduq Hussain makes every shot count with his cinematography. Second, a dark, dingy feeling created by Karan Malhotra's eerie music. And third, and perhaps the most important, a seamless performance by Geetanjali Kulkarni. She manages to take you too deep into her world, like she did so masterfully in Gullak. By the way, we mentioned Gullak in our video on the underrated series of 2021. Have you checked it out yet? We'll put the link above and in the description. Do check it out. And don't forget to subscribe if you like our content. Moving on. Geetanjali's solid performance draws you into the 4:3 aspect ratio movie, which transports you into Sangeeta's mind and then leaves us with an imperfectly perfect ending. War Room is a gem that needs your attention, and you need to check it out on Amazon Prime Video now.
Overall, this season is themed on work, as compared to the first season that majorly circled around how characters attempted to get used to the new normal of the first wave. The stories have a broader scope and therefore also an opportunity to diversify. But beyond this, it would truly be criminal to compare the two seasons. Both are unique, truly original, and heartwarming in their own ways. The bottom line: watch it for quick and relatable but unusual tales of the second wave that are well written and directed. Fresh and varied approaches by 5 directors to bring you new perspectives. Some mind-blowing performances that will absolutely win your heart. Don't watch it if you need to spend time on character development to connect to a movie. If plots related to the second wave in India are too emotional for you. You don't want to go through the complete anthology for a few great stories. In that case, we'd highly suggest you watch The War Room and The Couple. If you'd like to know more about captivating anthology series, do let us know in the comment section. Also, do let us know what you thought of this anthology and your personal ranking of these stories in the comment section. And if you like our content, do hit that subscribe button. Delighted with your viewership, this is Viewerscut signing off. Until next time.